Hey everybody, it's Coach Lori with Mindscapes Unlimited Mind Coaching Center. Today I felt compelled to create a video, and I guess time will tell if I post it or not. Yet in my heart, I felt that I had a message and I wanted to be able to share it. And so what will I plant in your mind to begin with, to my viewers? And that is the word influence. There are many things that influence us as human beings on this planet. We are influenced by other people, obviously, right? People's behavior, people's energy, because we're energy beings. And so their negative energy can be almost transferred and absorbed in our own body. And there is energy or things that happen to us, on a planetary kind of system that affects atmospheric pressures, like the lunar eclipse that is happening. And there are people, you can go on my website and look at that, and there are people that there's just certain behaviors that happen, people that study this kind of atmospheric changes, and this eclipse that is coming. They talk about it being a period of change, and the reason why they say it's a period of change is because it affects us very deeply on an energetic and in turn emotional mood kind of level, and I believe it forces us to go deeper into ourselves, deeper into our beliefs, into our behavior, into our conscience, and ask ourselves, who am I being as a human being? Who am I being? And what happened, to me recently is I first had been influenced by the atmospheric changes. I felt headachy, moody, emotional, just knew that things were different for me lately. And I did some research and found out that that was one of the things that is going on for many people. And, the theorists, are still out there trying to prove things like, does a full moon affect people, or, lack of sun, or things like that. And from my research and studies, I do see that these things happen a lot to people that I work with that are more, I call them high sensory, high sensitive, empathic kind of people. And so those people are really the people that I'm talking to here today, because you feel things much more deeply. You look into things on a broader basis. However, when you are emotional and when you are reactive, that filter in that brain does not work. And what happens is that it gets clouded. And the perception and the logical thinking and the rational thinking is not there. And it's dangerous. And it's quite dangerous. And so I believe that a lot of people are being affected by that nowadays. Anytime you feel fearful, worry, anxious, depressed, those kinds of things, those are things that we are being affected on an emotional level. And a lot of people think that it's the outside world and people that is causing your pain, your emotional pain, your physical pain, illnesses, by all these outside influences. But I strongly believe it's the stress within ourselves. I believe it's the story we tell ourselves. And that story that we accept in our mind as truth is really what creates this universe, this world. Our truth is, our reality is our reality, and nobody else's reality. And we fight over holding on to our reality, and we fight to persuade everybody else to have the same reality as we do, because it's comfortable, obviously. And when I think of the times that we're going through right now with the change, with the eclipse upon us on Monday, I think of here's what's really prompted me in my heart, because again, as you know, I'm already emotional with what's going on, and I really am an empowerer. I'm an uplifter. I'm an energizer. And the truth of the matter is that not every day are we on that up level energy, right? Some days we just need to take a deep breath in and step back and really assess things and listen to our heart and figure out what really is going on at the core. And I think the thing that triggered my desire to do this video here today is that I went to a meeting this morning, and then after the meeting, it was in an area where I used to live years ago, and there was a couple that I hung out with, and I hadn't seen them. We lost touch, and I hadn't seen them for years. And then I come out of the post office, and I'm feeling a little bit wearied because there was a man in there that was just complaining from the time he walked in to the time he left about the long line and why is there only one person helping out, and there was not any sympathy whatsoever that there is one employee at this post office that had to handle that entire line. There was no empathy, there was no sympathy, there was only complaint, there was only pissing and moaning going on. And as much as I try to shift it, because that's what I do, is I shift it, right? There's something at some level where I can let go of people and say, he's just got a pissy attitude and it must not be fun being him, quite truly, in my mind. And so I can let go of that. But what I do find is that at a level when you're working really hard and your patients have been tried, and you're tired, sometimes you just, need to get back and just regroup. Well, I walked out of the post office and I heard my name called. Hey, Lori. And I looked and I seen this person in this vehicle, and I really stared at him, and I went, and I went, oh my gosh, Joe, how are you? And he said, not good. And I went, oh, sorry to hear that. And then the next thing he said, we lost Rachel. And I froze and I got goosebumps and I went, what? Rachel? Rachel was this little girl years ago that she was so flippin' cute. She had beautiful big eyes, silver dollar eyes, and a beautiful smile, and she was just a bundle of joy. Such a happy, truly happy child that Joe and Renee had. And he said, she killed herself. And I went, what? He said, yeah, 4 years ago she got out of the Navy. And she had a really hard time with life and recovering, and she couldn't pull herself out, and she was depressed. And she found a gun and she took her life. And I think of that because I work with a lot of people that have had so much trauma and pain in their life. And it's not easy to move past that stuff. How do you? Right? How do you? It takes time. Time is the best healer that I know. And what I do know is that there is this thing called the story we tell ourselves in our mind. And we can say that nothing is ever going to get better. We can say that our world will never be the same with that person gone. We can say, what could I have done differently? Or I should have done something differently. Or my life doesn't have purpose anymore. You know, I get it. Life is hard. I get it because I know that there's a point in time where I too felt that way. After my divorce, I remember just wanting to say goodbye to this thing called life. Yet in time, after we heal, after we think things through, we realize that there is purpose out there in some way for us to be around. And I believe everybody is a messenger. Everybody is a teacher. Each and every one of us influence each other somehow and in some way. And even if you don't know that other person, your energy as a mass energy, quantum physics kind of being, we all influence one another. And we are either going to create the destruction of this world with our energy and with our hate, or we are going to get it together. I don't ever believe that we're going to end war. I don't ever believe that we're all going to agree and be this ippy-skippy, happy, communal, all in one place people in this time on the earth. We're going to have differences of opinion, and we sharpen each other with those differences of opinion. I think they can be healthy and critical, because sometimes we don't see the whole picture, and sometimes we do need fresh insight. And I know we all have been raised in so many different ways. And I think this is the thing that I really feel in my heart right now, and I hope to God our human race can get it. And that is, we bash the president, we bash racist people, we bash terrorists. We get angry and mad, and understandably so, when people that we love are killed, when there's hostility, when our earth is being destroyed, when there is lack of conscience in certain individuals. But I say, how the hell did they get there? You know, how were they raised? How were they abused? And these kinds of mindsets that we have, these traditions, they're in our DNA, and they're passed from one generation to the next generation. And whose fault is it, right? Are we playing the blame game? Are we pointing the finger? Are we judging? Hate doesn't do it justice. Hate only creates a very toxic environment in your own body. And it creates illness. It creates mental disease. You know, people will talk about, you know, sin separates us from God. What I find is that the hate, the getting ourselves to a point where we feel that there is no hope, that there is nothing good. We create our own mental illness, and God's there, but we don't see God in it. We create this thing called hell here on earth, and we also are the ones that create this heaven on earth, the beautiful place. And it is my hope that we can help people work through those times where they feel so hopeless that this world has no purpose for them anymore. I would hope that we can see the beauty in it, that we can find gratitude, that we can wake up every day and say, I see something that I love, something that I'm grateful for. And sometimes we need to dig deep, but I tell you, damn it, dig and find it. Because what's your options, right? We're in this together. We're really in this together, right? So I'm not saying not to stand up for your causes. I'm not saying that sometimes the fight is necessary to change things. I'm not saying that sometimes people aren't just somehow chemically born hostile and destructive, and we need to intervene to stay safe and to be guarded and protected. But when we generalize, when we throw cops all into one bucket and they're either good or they're bad, when we throw all, people of certain nationalities or certain religions into a bucket, we create fear. We scare people. When we tell people that if you only have this belief that this misery is going to come upon you, if we don't seek to first understand and love, why on earth is anybody going to listen to what you have to say? So I think of, in closing, a woman that I know that is a powerful motivational speaker, Annie Meehan, and she wrote a book, and it's called The Exception. And I love that title because that's what I believe we need to be. Not copycats, not conformists, not get angry. Look within yourself and be the exception. Mahatma Gandhi said, you be the change. You be the change that you want to see in the world. And there is so much wisdom in that. So today I just want to say thanks for listening. Thanks for allowing me to share what's on my heart. And I want you to know that, I just send peace and love and light out to each and every one of you because you matter. You matter. God bless you.